What if success isn't about working harder but about understanding yourself? What if everything you've been striving for, every goal, every milestone, every accolade, might feel empty because you've been chasing it from the outside in? Carl Jung believed that the secret to true success lies in a part of your mind you rarely explore, a part of your psyche that quietly controls the way you think, act, and ultimately succeed. This isn't just a theory or abstract idea, it's a principle that has guided some of the most resilient, self-aware, and fulfilled people in history. Success, as Jung understood it, is not about the external trophies or recognition. It is about knowing yourself so deeply that your outer life naturally aligns with your inner world. Many people spend their lives chasing success through external measures. They measure it in promotions, money, social status, or public recognition. They wake up early, work tirelessly, push through exhaustion, and yet, at the end of the day, there's a lingering emptiness. That feeling of incompleteness isn't a flaw. It's a signal. It's the unconscious mind telling you that your efforts, no matter how disciplined or consistent, are disconnected from the deeper currents of your true self. Jung observed that humans often operate under patterns shaped by the unconscious. These patterns dictate the choices we make, the fears we avoid, the desires we pursue, and even the obstacles we unknowingly create for ourselves. Success is rarely blocked by external circumstances alone. It is blocked when the conscious mind is at odds with the unconscious, when inner conflicts remain hidden and unresolved. The first key to understanding Jungian success is self-knowledge. True self-knowledge is not superficial. It is not knowing what you like, what your hobbies are, or what your resume looks like. It is knowing the hidden corners of your mind, the fears you avoid acknowledging, the motivations you often ignore, and the patterns of behavior that silently shape your life. This is where the concept of the shadow becomes crucial. Jung described the shadow as the parts of ourselves that we reject, ignore, or hide, often traits we consider negative, uncomfortable, or socially unacceptable. These could be feelings of envy, anger, insecurity, or even untapped potential. Success is not about eliminating the shadow, it is about recognizing it, understanding it, and integrating it. When we ignore these hidden aspects, they manifest indirectly, they sabotage relationships, generate self-doubt, and create obstacles we can't explain. But when we confront and understand the shadow, we gain clarity about why we act the way we do, why certain challenges seem insurmountable, and how to redirect that energy toward growth and achievement. Equally important are archetypes, the recurring symbolic patterns that shape human behavior. Jung believed that archetypes exist in the collective unconscious. They are inherited structures of the psyche that influence our thoughts, emotions, and decisions. For example, the hero archetype pushes us to act courageously and take initiative, but if overactive, it can lead to recklessness. The caregiver archetype fosters empathy and service to others, but can trap us in self-sacrifice. The explorer encourages curiosity and adventure, but can fuel restlessness. Understanding which archetypes dominate your psyche allows you to recognize your natural strengths, as well as the pitfalls that may be holding you back. By observing these patterns, you can consciously choose how to express your potential rather than being unconsciously driven by it. Success, then, becomes less about following a generic formula and more about aligning your actions with the deeper patterns that define you. The ultimate goal, Jung would say, is individuation, the integration of all parts of your psyche. Individuation is the process of becoming whole, of harmonizing the conscious mind with the unconscious, the shadow with the persona, the inner drives with outward actions. It is the journey of transforming fragmentation into coherence. Most people never achieve full individuation, and as a result, they chase success in a fragmented state. They may excel in one area of life while feeling lacking in another, or achieve professional milestones while ignoring emotional, spiritual, or relational needs. True success is not measured by accolades or recognition, but by the sense of inner alignment, by waking up each day feeling congruent with who you are at the deepest level. When you reach this point, Decisions become clearer, motivation becomes intrinsic, and challenges, while still present, are no longer sources of paralyzing fear. They are opportunities for expression and growth. Practical application of Jung's principles requires reflection and awareness. One exercise is to examine your recurring patterns. Ask yourself, which decisions do I repeat even when they cause pain? Which relationships do I attract consistently? What fears keep me stuck? These patterns are often shaped by unconscious dynamics. By bringing them into consciousness, by observing them without judgment, you gain the power to alter them. Another step is to explore your shadow. Notice the traits you dislike in others. They often reflect the parts of yourself that you have disowned. For example, if you feel intense irritation toward people who seek constant attention, you may be resisting a part of yourself that desires recognition but has been suppressed. Acknowledging this does not excuse negative behavior. It allows you to redirect energy consciously and creatively. Finally, examine your archetypal tendencies. Which roles do you unconsciously assume in life? Are you over-identifying with the hero, the caregiver, the rebel? Understanding these tendencies allows you to express them deliberately, rather than being dominated by them. Carl Jung also emphasized the importance of integrating emotional awareness into the pursuit of success. Many people view emotion as a distraction or a liability in professional or personal achievement, but Jung saw emotion as a critical guidepost. Unconscious desires, fears, and passions manifest first as feelings. Success is achieved when we learn to recognize these emotional signals, to differentiate between instinct, impulse, and conscious decision. For example, fear of failure is often a signal of unacknowledged shadow elements, such as perfectionism or insecurity. By exploring these feelings, naming them, and understanding their source, you can transform what once inhibited you into a tool for self-mastery. Emotion, properly understood, becomes the compass guiding action aligned with authentic desires rather than external pressures. Another key principle in Jungian psychology is the integration of opposites. Life is full of tension between polarities, strength and vulnerability, ambition and contentment, independence and connection. Success is rarely about pursuing one extreme while ignoring the other. Individuation requires reconciling these opposites, understanding the value and necessity of each, and expressing them in a balanced, conscious way. For example, ambition without self-awareness can lead to burnout, while reflection without action can lead to stagnation. True achievement arises when you act decisively while remaining in touch with your inner landscape, when your outward endeavors reflect your inner truth. Throughout this journey, storytelling and self-reflection are powerful tools. Jung often encouraged individuals to pay attention to dreams, symbols, and narratives that appear repeatedly in their lives. Dreams are not random. They reveal the hidden dynamics of the psyche, providing insight into conflicts, potentials, and desires. By reflecting on personal stories, how you've responded to challenges, patterns in relationships, moments of joy or disappointment, that you can uncover recurring archetypal themes. These insights allow you to consciously shape your path, make strategic decisions aligned with your true self, and avoid being unconsciously driven by old patterns or societal expectations. The pursuit of success, from a Jungian perspective, is also about authenticity. Many people define success according to society's standards: wealth, status, fame, or approval from others. Jung reminds us that such external definitions are often disconnected from the inner self. Achieving these without internal alignment may bring temporary satisfaction, but rarely results in lasting fulfillment. Authentic success is measured by the harmony between inner values and outer actions. It is when your choices, goals, and behaviors reflect your true nature. This is why some of the most accomplished people feel empty. They have achieved without integrating the unconscious mind, without facing the shadow, without aligning archetypes with purpose. Empowerment in the Jungian sense comes from embracing responsibility for your inner world. External circumstances will always vary, but your inner alignment can remain steady. By understanding your unconscious drives, integrating your shadow, and consciously expressing archetypal strengths. You create resilience, focus, and clarity. You no longer react impulsively to every challenge or setback, because you understand the underlying psychological forces at play. Decisions are made with intention, not compulsion. Motivation arises from a deep, authentic source rather than external pressures or fear of judgment. Let us consider some concrete steps. First, dedicate time each day to self-reflection. Write down thoughts, emotions, and patterns you notice in yourself. Ask, where do I feel resistance? What triggers strong reactions? Second, confront shadow aspects without shame. This might involve acknowledging envy, pride, fear, or suppressed desires. Third, identify your dominant archetypes and observe how they influence your behavior. Are you overly reliant on one archetype? Are you neglecting another? Finally, integrate these insights into your daily actions. Set goals that honor both your outer responsibilities and your inner inclinations. It is also essential to recognize that this process is gradual. Individuation and alignment with the unconscious mind do not occur overnight. There will be periods of confusion, frustration, and resistance. Old patterns may resurface, and emotions may feel overwhelming. Jung teaches that this is not failure. It is the natural rhythm of psychological growth. Success is not a straight line but a spiral, where each cycle of awareness, reflection, and conscious action leads to a higher level of integration and fulfillment. Patience, compassion for oneself, and consistent attention to inner life are the hallmarks of true psychological success. Success, according to Jung, is ultimately a lifelong process. It is the ongoing journey of understanding, integrating, and expressing the full complexity of your psyche. It is about aligning conscious intention with unconscious potential, harnessing the power of shadow, archetypes, and dreams to guide real-world decisions. It is about achieving goals that resonate with your authentic self rather than chasing illusions of approval. When this alignment occurs, action becomes effortless, decision-making becomes intuitive, and resilience becomes natural. You no longer feel fragmented because inner and outer life are in harmony. To bring this closer to everyday life, imagine a person striving for career success, but constantly overwhelmed by self-doubt, anxiety, and recurring mistakes. They may achieve externally, but feel unfulfilled. By applying Jungian principles, they would first examine their unconscious fears and patterns, perhaps a fear of failure rooted in childhood experiences. They would explore shadow aspects, acknowledge suppressed talents, and recognize archetypal tendencies shaping their behavior. Gradually, they would realign goals, practices, and decisions with this awareness. As a result, they experience a deeper sense of competence, motivation, and satisfaction. Success becomes a reflection of psychological wholeness rather than external achievement alone. Even in relationships, the Jungian approach to success proves invaluable. Success in collaboration, leadership, and personal connections is not determined solely by skill or charm. It is influenced by unconscious projections, unrecognized biases, and ignored emotions. Understanding the shadow, observing patterns, and consciously navigating archetypal dynamics improves communication, empathy, and influence. Leaders who integrate these insights often find their teams more cooperative, innovative, and resilient. Individuals who do so in personal relationships experience deeper intimacy, fewer conflicts, and more authentic connection. Success, therefore, is holistic. It encompasses professional, emotional, and social dimensions. Finally, remember that Jung emphasized the integration of opposites and the acceptance of complexity. Life will always contain contradictions, strength and vulnerability, certainty and doubt, ambition and contentment. Success is not avoiding these tensions, but navigating them skillfully. Each challenge becomes an opportunity for awareness and growth, each obstacle a reflection of unresolved inner material waiting for attention. The person who masters this journey achieves not just external success, but inner harmony, a sense of purpose, and enduring fulfillment. True success is psychological alignment, not just wealth, fame, or status. Individuation, the integration of all aspects of your psyche, is the ultimate path to lasting achievement. When you understand your unconscious patterns, recognize and integrate your shadow, and consciously express your archetypal strengths, the world responds differently. Opportunities that once seemed elusive appear naturally. Challenges become manageable, and motivation flows from within. The moment you understand yourself fully, the world begins to understand you. Actions align effortlessly with inner truth. Decisions resonate with deep purpose, and your sense of fulfillment grows not from accolades, but from the harmony of being wholly yourself. In conclusion, the psychology of success, according to Carl Jung, is not about external validation. It is not about following conventional formulas or copying someone else's path. It is about the deep, often uncomfortable journey of self-discovery, the confrontation with your shadow, the understanding of archetypal forces, and the gradual process of individuation. True success comes when you integrate all aspects of yourself, align conscious goals with unconscious drives, and express your authentic potential in every sphere of life. This is not a destination, it is a lifelong practice. It is a path where self-awareness, emotional mastery, and inner harmony converge to create success that is sustainable, meaningful, and profoundly satisfying. When you embrace this approach, you begin to see life differently. Obstacles are no longer threats but signals. Emotional discomfort is no longer a burden but a teacher. Failures are no longer evidence of inadequacy but opportunities for reflection and growth. Each day becomes an opportunity to practice alignment, to observe the unconscious patterns shaping your life, and to take conscious action toward authentic success. You start to notice subtle shifts, confidence grows, clarity increases, and the feeling of incompleteness diminishes. Success is no longer something to chase externally, it emerges naturally from within.